Hello everyone, welcome back to the Geek Blend. I'm Jeff, and welcome to our first Wandavision review here on the channel. We'll be doing these every week. Episodes 1 and 2 dropped around 2 a.m. Central Time, which is where I am located in the U.S. in Central Time Zone. It's the first of many Marvel Cinematic Universe shows on Disney+, and they wanted to kick it off with Wandavision. So going forward really quickly, before we get into the episode review, I will say there will be spoilers in this. If you guys don't want to be spoiled, and you want to watch this with a clean slate, go watch the episodes, come back, and then watch the review. I will be reviewing both episodes in this video. I'm not separating them. I will make sure the video is not too long because of that. Going into this show, I was not really super excited or not excited. It was just kind of like, okay, I'll check it out. It looked very, very weird. And yes, it's very weird and different. Emphasis on weird, that is for sure. Episodes 1 and 2 are out currently on Disney+. If you want to go check them out. Of course, it stars Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff and Paul Bettany as Vision. We also meet their neighbor, played by Kathryn Hahn, who is also in Step Brothers, and you also might recognize her from Parks and Recreations, among others. In the first episode, we also see Deborah Jo Rupp, who was Kitty in that 70s show. She plays the wife of the boss of Vision, where he works. His boss is Mr. Hart. She plays Mrs. Hart. That was a nice little cameo there, or a nice little surprise. I do remember seeing her in the trailer, I believe, but I had kind of forgotten about it because when I saw her on screen, I was like, oh yeah, I love her. She's great. She's really great. So basically the premise of the show is they move into an idyllic suburb. They're trying to hide who they really are. Vision being Vision, and Wanda Maximoff being who she is with the power she has. They're basically trying to cover that up and be regular people in this regular suburb. We think regular, of course. There's a little few things the first episode that kind of make you wonder what the hell's going on. And then, of course, even more in the second episode. But the first episode basically is them. We're introduced to them in their house and their daily life. He goes to work. She meets the neighbor played by Kathryn Hahn. They talk about this date that's on the calendar with a heart above it. They're trying to figure out what that date is. They both think it's one thing and the other thinks another. He goes to work. He finds out it's Mr. and Mrs. Hart, his boss and the boss's wife, are coming to dinner. She's at home talking about the neighbor. She thinks it's their wedding anniversary. She's planning a wedding anniversary surprise for him when he gets home from work, and he thinks she's planning a elaborate meal for the boss. Like, they have a nice, they have this weird phone call while he's at work where she's saying things and he's saying things and it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. And he's like, I'm so glad we're on the same page. So when the Harts come over, his boss and the wife, she's in this seductive looking dress, and he writes it off as it's from Sokovia where she lives. That's how they dress, and all the weird things that happen is because she's from Sokovia. So that's kind of fun. During the dinner sequence, the boss, Mr. Hart, starts to choke. And we get this weird echoey thing that happens when the wife, Mrs. Hart, is saying, stop it. She's saying over and over, stop it to him. And we get this really weird look on Wanda's face where she's looking at her like, what? What's going on? And it keeps echoing, stop it, stop it. It's really weird. And we get a different change in tone in the picture quality, and something's out of place. And we know something's going on. She tells Vision to save him. So Vision reaches through him, gets whatever he's choking on and pulls it out. And it kind of goes back to normal from there. It's just this weird little moment. It happens again in the next episode, but this is the one that happens in the first episode. So they leave. The boss tells Vision, we had a really good time. We're going to promote you when you come to the office on Monday. We'll talk about your promotion kind of thing. And it's this really weird thing. And then they talk about how they don't have an anniversary. They don't have wedding rings. They don't have a song. And they pick a song that played at Vision's work. It's Yakety Yak. He sang that to distract the boss and his wife when she was in the kitchen using her powers to make dinner. And so they picked that song. She makes wedding rings for them. So they're trying to do a little bit more to blend in. And they are going to fit in. They said, we're going to fit in and be the most blended or fitted in people on the block or whatever. But we know there's something going on behind the scenes. But it basically, at the end of the episode, it pulls out. We see a television screen with that we're watching. But we see computer monitors and stuff around it. Somebody's writing some stuff down, they're monitoring what's happening. So we know something is going on, and everything is not as it seems. The next episode, I know I didn't really get in a whole lot of the details of the episode, but I will basically describe it as this. They're really weird, Dick Van Dyke Show episodes or Andy Griffith episodes, like, you know, Donna Reed Show, like those classic sitcoms. And that's what it kind of feels like with this weird kind of like MCU touch to it. That's what I'll describe it as. So just getting into the plot of the show, it's basically like them going on their day-to-day lives and him making jokes about being human. I'm more human than anybody. Well, you know, he continues to make that joke, and they ask him if he's got a screw loose. He said, nope, all my screws are tightened. Just little funny jokes here and there that make it work and make you laugh because you're like, oh, they're trying to play it off, blah, blah. But it's basically like that. It's basically one of those classic TV show episodes. I'll just get into the weird stuff. But in the second episode, they keep hearing this banging noise, and they're in separate beds, and they're asleep. She keeps turning the light on and off every time they hear it. Vision goes to the window to look. Something scares him. He jumps back into bed. It turns out it's just the tree banging against the window. At least we think it is. So goes into the episode. There is an intro to the episode. There's an outro to the show. It's very weird. Emma Caulfield Ford is in the episode. She's actually a Buffy alum. She plays Dottie, like the main woman on the block in the suburbs that everybody has to be on her good side because she'll get you, your kids in the best schools. She'll get you in the best of everything as long as you're on her good side. So Wanda and Vision are preparing a magic show for the talent show for the children, they say. They're doing it for the children, to raise money for the children. Keep saying that. So that's their plan, is to do a magic show. And so the neighbor introduces Wanda to Dottie, and Dottie's not a very nice person. She's kind of one of those Stepford wife kind of people. And but yeah, she's trying to impress her and everything. And Vision goes to the library to talk to the men from the neighborhood about neighborhood watch and things that happen. They give him a piece of gum. He accidentally swallows the gum, and we get this weird, like, black and white, like, x-ray shot of his innards, but it's just, like, generic innards, like a robot. And, like, inside of him is gears, and the gum gets stuck in his gears. And so when he goes to do the magic show, it's like he's drunk and really off-kilter. So he keeps doing stuff that he shouldn't be doing as Vision, like floating. And then she makes it look like he's hanging from a rope. You know, their whole thing at the beginning, they say, is that they want to show off how the illusions are done, to make it seem like, you know, it's just an illusion, you know, that make it kind of silly. And they do, they make it funny and everything. And she every time he screws up, she fixes it so people don't think there's something wrong with him or something that they're out of place or that they really could do these kind of amazing things. And in the end, that pleases Dottie very much, and she said it was the most hilarious act they've ever had. She gives her the award. Let me go back to one point in the episode where after the little sit down with the women of the suburbs, it's just Dottie and Wanda. And they're talking on the radio next to them. A voice keeps coming through saying, Wanda, who's doing this to you? Wanda, can you hear me? Wanda, are you there? Wanda, are you there? Wanda, who's doing this to you? Wanda, who's doing this to you? And then all of a sudden, the glass breaks in Dottie's hand. She gets cut. It's really weird seeing, again, the picture quality changes. The aspect ratio changes a little bit. It gets a little bit weird, so you know something is not as it seems, but we don't know what. But what it sounds like is something is happening, and something is happening to Wanda, and somebody's doing this to her on purpose. But we don't know what. We don't know what's going on exactly. So they're going to probably do what I think they're going to do. They'll sprinkle in a few things to hint throughout the episodes as we go forward till we finally reveal what's going on at the end of the season. At the very end of the episode, they go outside because they hear the noise again. They look, there's a manhole cover opening. A man comes out of the manhole in a beekeeper's costume with bees all over him. And he looks at them. You can't see his face. And she's like, no, that didn't happen. It rewinds back to where they were before they went outside and heard the noise. And it's like, what just happened? How did she do that? Why did she do that? So that's really weird. So it's like she knows something's going on and she's trying to cover it up. It's really, really weird. So I know I keep saying weird, but the show is weird. It's really, really, it's in this like perfect, ideal suburbs from the 50s like setting, but you know something's off about it. You can feel it. Little things happen. Like when Wanda leaves her home before she goes to meet Dottie, she sees a helicopter in the bushes, but it's in color. Nothing else is. So that's another weird thing that happens. But at the very end of the episode, everything goes into color. So going forward, it will now be in color. So it's in color now. But there's really not much more to say about it. It's just trying to figure out what the hell's going on. I will say this. The performances by Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen, and especially Catherine Hahn are fantastic. It was nice to see Emma Caulfield from Buffy pop in there as Dottie, like the main woman from the cul-de-sac, the woman you want to be friends with to get you in everything, country clubs and all that stuff. It was nice to see her. She's fantastic in it, as always. She was fantastic in it. She really was. We know there's a lot more to come. Just looking at the IMDb series cast listing and seeing who's going to be in the show and names that are going to be in the show, very interesting. We know that Sword's agents, Sword's going to be involved in this, all kinds of other weird stuff. So I'm really looking forward to the next episode and getting more little teases of what's actually happening in the real world. So is she in her own head? Is somebody making her stay in her own head, to control her? What's happening? I want to know. It's very interesting to see what's going to happen down the road. But it's very unique, very interesting. I liked it more than I thought I was going to be honest with you. I really did. I was very surprised how much I enjoyed it. I'm a fan of the classic, I love the Dick Van Dyke Show. I love some of those older shows from that time period. Them to bring that into the modern day with what they're doing on this show, it really worked well. But yes, I really did enjoy it. I would recommend checking it out if you're a fan of the MCU and the Marvel Cinematic Universe and you want to kind of branch out and see what's going on with the show, but you're not quite sure if you want to watch it or not. I've seen a lot of people out there say they're not really excited for this, or they're not one way or the other. I will say if you're on the fence, definitely check it out. It's definitely worth watching. It's very interesting, and it'll make you want to watch the next episode because you want to know what the hell is going on. One thing I forgot to mention in my review, I literally was starting to edit this, and I'm like, oh wait, I forgot this. During the first episode and the second episodes, there are fake commercials. The one is for a toaster. In the first episode, the toaster is made by Stark Industries, and the second episode commercial is about a watch, and on the watch face is the Hydra symbol. So there's some weird stuff going on with that. Also, the sword emblem is actually on the helicopter that I mentioned that she finds outside. That's the one in color. It's just sitting there and everything black and white, but that thing's in color. It does have the sword logo on the helicopter. I did remember that, and I was like, wait a second, I forgot to put that in there. So I wanted to add those really quickly. But I definitely recommend this one. If I had to give it a rating, I'd say a 7.5 out of 10. I really liked the performances. I love Wanda and Vision. I love those characters from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like with Vision, is he alive? Is he dead? Is he just in her head? What's going on? Is he being projected in her head? I'm really intrigued to figure out what the hell's going on here. So I'll be doing reviews for these every week. What did you guys think about this first 2 episodes of WandaVision? Let me know down below in the comments. I know this was kind of a shorter review with 2 episodes, but like I said, besides the weird stuff that happens, it's just a standard sitcom plot from the 50s and 60s. So really not a lot to talk about plot wise because there's really not a lot to give away, but I wanted to talk about the weirdness of it and the kind of things that popped out to me. If you guys want to hear some more thoughts from me and some other people about this show, come check out The High Ground, our new Saturday night show, 11 p.m. Central Standard Time here on the Geek Blend. We will be discussing this a little bit further and in more in detail. So check that out. Like the video, it does help us out. Subscribe if you're new and you want to see some more, and hit the bell for notifications so you can stay up to date on everything we do here on the Geek Blend, including these reviews, which will be out every Friday when WandaVision is airing. Also, links down below in the description for social media, Discord, all the ways you guys can support the channel. We'd appreciate you guys checking those out, and I want to say thank you to all of my current channel supporters. All your names will be scrolling at the end in the outro, of course. That will do it for the first review of the WandaVision episodes 1 and 2. I'm Jeff. This is the Geek Blend, and remember, if you geek about it, we speak about it. See you guys next time. Bye. Thank you all for watching. I do appreciate it. And I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who supports the channel, whether it's Patreon, channel memberships, Subscribestar, or direct donations. I just want to say thank you, and all of you guys are amazing, and I do appreciate you very much. And if you want to donate and help the channel, all the links are in the description below. Thank you all again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.